Welcome. Good evening, everyone. This is the January 10th special meeting of the Nuclear Decommissioning Citizens Advisory Panel. My name is Emily Davis, and I am this year's chair. And this is our first meeting of the year. It's a special meeting because we are here just to have two special agenda items to approve the annual report that was prepared by Anthony Lashinsky, and to approve, hopefully, at least potentially have a vote on the Ndcap's budget for this year. So panelists, before we begin, any changes to the agenda? I'm sure you all got the agenda. Okay, if there are no changes, then I think we'll just go through a panel roll call to see who's here and to confirm that we do have quorum. Oh, thank you, Chris. I got the note that the physical meeting location is at the WRC, Wyndham Regional Commission office, conference room, and no members of the public is there. Thank you. So we'll start from the top, and we'll start with you, Madeline Arms.
Madeline Arms, present, Town of Vernon.
Maddie. Chris Campany.
Chris Campany, Executive Director, Wyndham Regional Commission.
Hi, Chris. Sarah Coffey.
Hi, Sarah Coffey, citizen appointee of the Speaker of the House.
Hi, Sarah. Corey Daniels.
Good evening, Corey Daniels, North Star representative.
Corey. Myself, Emily Davis, is here. Bill Irwin.
Yes, Bill Irwin from the Vermont Department of Health, representing the Agency of Human Services.
Hi, Bill. Bob Leach.
I don't see any indication that he's here.
Brett Long.
Brett Long, Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Economic Development, representing the Agency of Commerce and Community Development.
Hi, Brett. Senator Mark McDonald. I don't believe he's here. And David Pearson.
Good evening, David Pearson, representing North Star.
Hi, David.
Hello.
Marvin Resnikoff.
Marvin was online. I'm not seeing him now. Marvin, if you can hear us, you're muted. So I still have him as having joined the meeting.
Yeah, me too. Maybe we'll say that Marvin is here. I'm sure he's probably sorting out some audio issues. Laura Sibilia. I think Representative Sibilia.
Marvin's here.
Thank you, Marvin. And Lisa Weinman.
Hi.
Hi. We can hear you.
Sorry, it's been a crazy day. I am Lisa Weinman, citizen appointee of Senator Becca Ballin.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, everyone.
I think we missed two people on the panel. I know June is snickering over this right now.
I'm not snickering, I'm smiling. And I'm happy.
My apologies, Commissioner Tierney.
Commissioner Tierney, Vermont Department of Public Service.
Okay, and I don't see any indication that Trish Compolino is. Oh, wait, there she is. Okay, I take that back. I just found her.
If I don't need to be, that's okay. But Trish Compolino with the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources.
I'll get it at some point, you all. I promise.
Okay.
Everyone. So without further ado, I think the big business why we're all here this evening is to approve the annual report that Tony had drafted that was sent out originally on December 17th. And then most recently had another draft come out with some edits and updates So I think right now we'll move to a panel discussion or comments on that 2021 annual report. Yes, Chris?
Yeah, I would just move approval of the latest draft Tony sent us.
Okay, thank you.
I second the motion.
Okay, motion seconded to approve the most recent draft. Any panel discussion?
I had a few comments that I sent to Tony earlier in the day. This is Lissa. But I don't see them reflected in the report. So I'm reluctant to want to walk through them all.
The version that I circulated was actually a version as it stood on Friday.
Yeah.
I have looked through your comments, and like you said, they are lengthy. So if there is anything that the panel would wish to add based on those comments, this is the time to do it. I do have a summary of your comments that I can pull up on the screen, Lissa, if that would help.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, yeah, I mean, we could do that. I have them in front of me also. I'm just reviewing because some of it was just notes to myself, but I would really just, I can actually run through it quickly, I think, if you want.
I think
most of it pertains obviously to the Federal Nuclear Waste Policy Subcommittee. Adds a couple things, revises a couple things, but other than that, I'm just seeing if there's anything that does not pertain to the yeah, there was an error in how the Department of Energy's call for information was the title of that, for instance. So I just wanted that fixed.
Yeah.
There was just small things like page 19. Let's see, line 760. I had a question about data provided, and I wanted that clarified as to where from where the data was coming from, who provided the data on that, I guess. So I just changed it to data provided by North Star because I think that is who provided that data on the discharge, Tony. I don't know if you can comment on that.
Yeah, the question in particular, Lissa asked on page 19 and it's still the current draft. Let me move up to where that is. That'll make life easier.
Oh, because the current draft now might have changed. The line number. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think you're asking right in here. Each discharge is approximately 15,000 gallons per day. Yes, that data came from from North Star, Vermont Yankee.
Yeah, so I was just wanted to clarify that data provided by North Star on that one.
Okay.
Unclear to me who was providing that data right there, but page okay. Yeah, so on page 21, it's line 815 I had pointed out. The U.S. Department of Energy has been directed under existing authority to pursue one or more locations. I suggested we strike under existing authority and add under an FY 2021 congressional, I can actually put this in the chat, Tony, if that's helpful.
Yeah. Well, actually, hold on. I can jump over to where you had that. Let's make sure I'm getting to the right
Here, I'm going to
page.
just put
Yeah,
it in.
here we go.
Putting it in the chat right now. The whole paragraph. Okay.
Well, it's actually what I'm saying. It looks like it's several paragraphs, but in any case, it should be up on the screen right now. What you requested addition.
Okay. I'm just trying to go to my chat to make sure. Okay. So I'm suggesting that this be added, what I just put in the chat. And I can read it. Okay. And this is just because we have had input from our congressional delegation on these matters that we've discussed in the committee, and I think it's appropriate to put the substance of that into the annual report for the legislators. So instead of under existing authority, I've added under an FY 2021 congressional budget appropriation. That's why the Department of Energy is acting right now. It's because the Congress gave them a budget appropriation to start talking about siting an interim facility. So under an FY 2021 congressional budget appropriation of 27.5 million for nuclear waste disposal, of which 20 million is for interim storage and 7.5 million is for nuclear waste fund oversight activities. According to Senator Leahy's staff, when asked by the Federal Nuclear Waste Committee to investigate how such funds would be used by the incoming Biden administration's DOE, quote, the 20 million was appropriated to establish a new program for interim storage capability. It will be used to establish a plan addressing temporary storage in the near term, followed by permanent disposal later. It will also be used to identify technology gaps and further evaluate technical and economic factors associated with interim storage concepts. Additionally, DOE will initiate the process of identifying potential sites for permanent disposal that aren't Yucca Mountain. And that was a quote from Tom Berry and Senator Leahy's office. So there should be an end quote there, actually, Tony.
Okay.
And then I just included that I had asked congressional aides to examine whether any CRS or CBO, that's Congressional Research Service or Congressional Budget Office, economic evaluations had been or were planned to be performed to assess the economic and legal implications of creating interim facilities in the absence of a permanent geologic repository required to be licensed before such facilities are approved under existing law, the 1982 and 87 Nuclear Waste Policy Act. Weinman reported that Thea Würzburg in Welch's office said, quote, the annual appropriations bill is adopted as law. If it was found to be in conflict with other laws, then that would need to be sorted out by the administrations or perhaps the courts, period. Several groups participating in the policy committee meetings are challenging this appropriation as illegal in federal courts. She said, that meaning Thea Würzburg said, based on DOE's request for information on consent-based storage, which Ndcap may contribute an advisory opinion to by the March 4th deadline, she does not believe DOE will be moving forward with any new CIS sites until they have more such information from stakeholders like Ndcap. So I was suggesting we add that because it provides more substances to what is actually happening right now in terms of what might happen to our ISFAC in the future, and those deliberations and those quotes that are directly from our congressional delegation. If anybody wants to. And my the changes that I had made to the report were the other changes were just, again, clarifying exactly what is DOE doing right now.
Okay. I think that what I feel like maybe just as a to clarify for the panel, these feel like substantive enough edits that they are different enough from the original draft, so that if this language should be incorporated into the annual report, does the panel wish to have a separate vote on that? And if so, I would entertain a motion.
I could amend my motion to accept the draft as amended.
And so those amendments would be what I have recorded here based off of what you said, Lissa, was to clarify the DOE's RFI and fix the title, also fix that and clarify that the deadline is March 4th of this year. On page 16, to clarify that data provided is by North Star. And on page 21, strike the language under existing authority and add in the language that you provided in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, there was another reference to the DOE RFI later on page 22 also that just said that the request for information regarding the restart for developing a consent-based siting process for identifying potential locations for a national spent nuclear fuel repository. That is actually incorrect. I would strike that sentence and say that DOE's recently published request for information, and I took this from their website from the title, to restart for developing a consent-based siting process for identifying potential locations for a national, oh, that's what strike, oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the strike, to add a request for information regarding the temporary consolidated storage of spent nuclear fuel using a consent-based approach. Again, that is the DOE's own language from the top of their site and from the request for information. So they're not requesting information on a national repository. They're requesting information on a temporary consolidated storage facility. So I just want that to be clear.
Okay, so that would be the fourth change. June, you have your hand raised?
And that's it.
I'd like to stick with the third change first, because I'm not sure I understand what exactly is being gained here. Could I first be pointed, please, to the pinpoint for under existing authority, which is, I think, on page 20.
Yeah, let me go back to my notes.
As I have it on the most recent draft that Tony had sent us, that's page 21,
Okay.
line 807.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it on 815.
Yeah, it's right here.
Right.
So if I understand it correctly, the idea is to take this entire quote that is in the chat and to put that in place of under existing authority. Is that correct?
Yes, you would strike under existing authority and say the U.S. Department of Energy has been directed under an FY 2021 congressional budget appropriate. Yes.
So, you know, that I guess I don't understand what we're gaining by doing this, making this change, because under existing authority encompasses what has been proposed by way of change, though I do freely concede that the change is more detailed. This report is already quite lengthy, and my concern is simply this. There was a substantial period of time for commenting on this report given from December 21 to January 10. And this is a significant amount of language that's being proposed as a change right now on the fly that I've had no opportunity to vet. I don't know where it came from. Lissa, I always take you at your word, of course, but I don't see what we're achieving by making the change. But I do know that by introducing a substantive change to this extent, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable simply doing it on the fly. And I feel that this should have been put in front of the group sooner if it's going to make it into this report. That's my view.
And I would also like to just add that when Tony did send out this draft report originally, he had asked for comments back by January 5th so that they could be incorporated in the draft for panel review.
Fair enough. I just did it when I could. So I apologize for that. I just, the existing authority I felt should be clarified because it's, the existing authority is actually being challenged in the courts. And I think it's important if our legislators take the time to read this, that they should know that, or know that we know that. So I don't, I mean, I guess it could be under existing authority currently being challenged in the courts. Maybe we could make it just shorter like that. I just think that that's important information to include, that we know, because that is the state of affairs right now.
Well, so my view of this would be, Alyssa, that folks are generally speaking under inquiry notice when they read a report of this nature. If they have a question, they can follow up with the authors of the report, or they can make inquiry of the congressional delegation to get greater detail. If you are proposing to put that parenthetical in there that says open paren, currently being challenged by certain groups or something like that, close paren, I could be comfortable with that and leave it at that. I'm not comfortable with putting in this rather lengthy passage without, I mean, my name's going on this like everybody else's, and I just don't feel I've properly vetted this. So
I understand, and I apologize, and I think that's fine.
You're doing the best you can too, I know that. So as I said, if you're willing to change it to that shorter parenthetical, I can go along with that.
I think that's fine.
Madam Chair, do I need to make a motion to that effect, or?
I think that if we just make this the, what do you think, Lissa? The third change that you have would be to add after under existing authority would be a parenthetical saying that is currently being challenged.
Yes, in federal court. Mm-hmm.
In federal court?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. June, does that seem okay to you?
Yes, I would simply suggest that other panel members weigh in if they have strong feelings about this. That's all.
So I have four changes total. Any other discussion? Sarah?
I would agree that with the commissioner that I prefer this abbreviated version. I did read through this report, and this is that the suggestions are, I know, well-intentioned, but without looking at it in front of me, it's hard to be comfortable. So I think this is a good solution, what's being proposed.
So we still have, thank you, Sarah. We still have a motion to approve with the changes. Should I review what these four changes are once more before we go, if the panel is ready to vote?
Emily, for my benefit, if you could please do that, just so I don't inadvertently put in changes that were not approved.
Great. So what I have here is to clarify the title of the DOE's Request for Information, RFI. We have at least...
where is that? Just so I'm looking at the right one.
Page 22, I had it at approximately line 881.
Okay.
And it's after, or 880 was in mine, request for information regarding, and after regarding, you would strike the restart for blah, 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 up to the end of that line.
Right, okay.
And then, and you have that language, I gave it to you, Tony,
yes.
regarding the temporary,
yes.
right.
Yes, okay, I just want to make sure that I'm capturing the right changes.
Yes.
Okay. And number 2 is on page 21, which we just discussed, or actually that's number 4.
Under existing authority currently being challenged in federal courts.
Yep, okay. That's one. And then the other one, which I've lost track of the page number, but it is clarifying that the data provided is by North Star.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was is on page 19.
Yes, page
Line-
19, 707, I think you said.
I have, yeah.
Okay, wait, I see that. And you just, okay, and just to clarify, sorry, it's I've been looking at this too much.
I think it's
Oh.
line 760. That was where data provided.
Okay. That's where I got lost here because there's
Yeah.
So,
Data provided by North Star.
Yes.
okay. Okay, and what was the last one? Just
I got yeah.
That was it. I think that the title, the RFI title, might have needed to be fixed or clarified, tweaked in two places.
Oh, okay.
That was maybe the two. Yeah, and then those others.
Okay. Okay. I think I know where that is. Well, I'll look for it.
I can work with you on that, Tony, or the three of us can.
Okay, certainly.
So with those changes, panel, are we ready for a vote to approve the 2021 Ndcap annual report? I think so. Oh, I see. Yeah, and Darling, you have your hand raised. I just want to see.
We're in the middle of a vote.
Yes, we are in the middle of the vote. And Darling, I think we'll get to public comments shortly, and we'll return to you. But other than that, I think we'll go by roll call vote for the annual report. We'll start with Maddie Arms.
Maddie Arms, aye.
Chris Campany.
Aye.
Sarah Coffey.
Aye.
Corey Daniels.
Aye.
Trish Coppolino.
Aye.
Emily Davis, aye. Bill Irwin.
Aye.
Which is not here. Brett Long.
Aye.
David Pearson.
Aye.
Marvin Resnikoff.
I think I'm going to abstain.
Okay. June Tierney.
Aye.
And Lissa Wyman.
You know, I think because of my own tardiness in providing the clarifications I thought were necessary, I too must abstain.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, and which means that the vote passes and we have approved the annual report. Thank you, everybody. And now we'll move to public comments on the 2021 annual report, and we'll turn to Ann Darling.
Yes,
Yes, Anne, if you are trying to speak, you are still muted and we can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Because you just voted to accept this report, what good are my comments? Public comment was not invited before you approved it. Now you've approved it. And so, you know, I actually had very minor suggestions that would help, that might help people reading the report, you know, but my point here is why bother?
June, would you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I do. I appreciate the point here. However, a formal vote's been taken by the body, and with due respect, Ms. Darling is not a member of the formal body. I don't believe public comment was noticed for the report. If it was, somebody else smarter than me is going to have to fix that. But Ms. Darling perhaps needs to contact folks who would be minded on the panel to propose her changes in the future. But we need to conduct orderly business here, and this is, to my mind, out of order.
I was asking a question, Commissioner Tierney, and I got my answer.
Very good. And I'm sorry it's
Yeah.
it's so black and white, but
No,
forgive.
that's not my point.
To be fair, the original agenda, you're right, and does have public comments on the 2021 annual report draft before the item that is finalizing the annual report. I accept that my facilitation of this I just didn't want to interrupt the motion to the motion that we had on the floor and the panel vote. If you have comments on this annual report, I mean, I think we would still like to hear it as a panel. But June, if you have your hand raised again, I'll turn back to you.
It would seem to me that it's well within the panel's power to vote to reopen the vote. I know we've lost Representative Coffey at this point. So I have no objection. I was not aware that it had been noticed for public comment. I should have known that, but I did not.
My apologies for kind of getting the order kind of confused on that. Anne, would you still like to add some comments?
Does the panel need to reopen the vote?
I think that what we should probably do here is receive your comments, and then if the panel decides to reopen the vote and amend the vote, then we would proceed that way.
Well, as I said, these are really quite minor. But there's a section towards the end about milestones, and it doesn't say who provided that, but they're milestones of decommissioning. So I would guess it was North Star. And there's a lot of acronyms in there. So for instance, it took me a while to figure out that RV is, I believe, reactor vessel, TB is turbine building. And I'm just thinking of aides or legislators reading through this and, they're not going to be able to really understand it. There's no key that says this means this, the acronym doesn't spell out the acronyms. That's all.
Can you please just point to the milestones, the page number that you're referring to?
Okay, well, I'll have to go find it.
I can help you with that. If I can, sorry for speaking out of turn. No. If I can respond to that. To answer Ms. Darling's specific question, at the beginning of the major milestones section, so this is page 14, approximately line 547 or so. Right. The acronyms that are used, the first time they are used in the milestone section, they are identified. So, for example, reactor vessel is RV, turbine building is TB. There's also rad waste cleanup RWCU building, and you'll see further down condensate storage tank CST. I believe those are the only acronyms that
I missed that. I missed that. I'm sorry. You can just, belay my whatever. Okay. But my point about, public input has been made. But.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? If not, then we'll turn to the, let's see, one hand raised. Okay. If not, then we'll turn to the panel budget discussion, which was also included in the meeting materials for this evening. So this is a continuation and the next iteration of the panel's budget for this upcoming year. Again, this is from the legislative changes that came where the panel now has $35,000 for different expenditures, which we've discussed. And so, and thank you, Tony, for just bringing it up on the screen. So panel discussion on this. Yes, Chris?
I'll move approval of the budget as presented.
Okay. I will second that motion.
Moved and seconded. Any additional panel discussion? No. So now we have it on the agenda to approve the budget, if we are ready. Oh, sorry, Lissa, I see your hands raised.
Yeah, I was just wondering, we have the website update item for $10,000, but did we get a request?
Did we get a request? I think you might have cut out there, Lissa, but I'm guessing if that was some kind of like a fee that we had gotten from a fee from a potential contract. Is that the idea? I'm having a hard time hearing Lissa. Is anyone else?
I dropped out of the my internet went down. Yeah, no, I was just wondering if that was based on a provider, or whether we're going to do a request for proposals for that, or what the state of play, how close that is to a real number, based on real people that we already know might be doing the work.
It is not based on any real people that we know. I think from here, there's a lot of work to be done to decide what website update means, and that would be in close collaboration with the department and with Commissioner Tierney. So, and at this point, I would just kind of say if June, you have anything to add on how this process would go and how close the $10,000 figure feels, or if that's is enough for the department potentially to work with on a website update?
I really don't have anything of the sort. I think it's more than we've ever had before, which is much appreciated. And I think it's also important to realize that this $10,000 is probably not the only resource that gets put toward this, because at the end of the day, quite a bit of this has to be done in-house. I don't know whether Brett is still on the line. I think he is. But I have in mind that ACCD is probably going to be able to lend a hand in assisting with configuration and the like for the website. So I think it's a reasonable amount, which is why I'm prepared to vote in favor of it. But it's not a fine science, and there's absolutely nothing wrong and nothing that would foreclose us from putting an RFI out to see what we could do. But to the point about what the state of play is, as of now, there is no RFI or RFP out that seeks to get a response.
Thanks.
Yep.
Any other panel discussion? So I think that before this goes to a vote, I just want to clarify that how this would go, and the way that this is set up in statute is that the Commissioner of Public Service may consider appropriate. So any expenditures would, I think, would have to go through the department, right? Is that okay? Thank you, June. I see you nodding your head. Any other procedural kind of points to be made on that before we go to a vote?
I guess if we're going to take public comment on that, let's go ahead and take public comment now, so we don't have to reopen it again.
Thank you, Chris, and I think that's a good call. So let's go to public comment. And is that a stale hand from before, or would you like to add something? And you're still muted. But I see you're shaking your head, so.
I don't have my hand up.
Okay.
Okay.
So it looks like we're ready for a vote.
I think we're ready for a vote. Okay, then we'll go through roll call, and we'll start at the top. Madeline Arms.
Aye.
Thank you, Chris Campany.
Aye.
Sarah Coffey has left. Corey Daniels.
Abstain.
Okay. Emily Davis, aye. Bill Irwin.
Aye.
Brett Long.
Aye.
David Pearson.
Abstain.
Marvin Resnikoff.
Aye.
June Tierney.
Aye.
Lissa Weinman.
Aye.
Okay,
I think we missed Trish.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to edit my roll call sheet after this, I promise. Trish Coppolino.
Aye.
Thank you, Trish. So the vote passes. Any other, congratulations and thank you everybody for your good work on that. Any other general public comments to the panel before we go to close out? Or any panel discussion? Chris, is that a still hand?
Still hand, but if there's no comments, I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you, everyone. That concludes our business for this evening. Our next meeting is...
We take a vote, don't we?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we take a vote to...
I only seconded the motion.
Okay. And
Believe
then I'll
me,
take...
I get tripped up on this stuff all the time.
So then, all in favor of adjourning? I think we can move without roll call probably on this one.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, then we're officially adjourned.
Night, everybody.
41.
Thanks, everyone.
Next tentative meeting is at February 28th. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, that and that's actually in the annual report if you look in the sections talking about meeting priorities. I noted the likely meeting dates based on December 6th. So
Great.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you then.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
night.
Thank you, Emily. Good night.